Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Football Queensland edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. I'm Darren Lutton. It's great to have the show back with you. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've been a bit busy. Used to be a ring on that finger. Not anymore. Anyway, let's get into our panel. We've got the two regulars. It's Liam Parslow, but it's now admin Liam Parslow. Good evening, sir.
G'day, mate. How are you? Thank you very much for having me on board again for another night. Yeah, chatting football with you two. It's good fun as always.
How much fun is it being an admin, Liam? You got to decline all those international people who want to show this.
People aren't trying to hock their crap. They'll be trying to betting or something, wouldn't they, mate? You know, you really got to keep on top of it. You know, so. That's why you got to stalk them, mate. You got to stalk them well.
Exactly. I love a good stalk. All right, we've also got Tony Jorkas. Tony, welcome.
Good evening. It's nice to be back.
Yes, mate.
Hey, Tony.
How are we?
Well, mate. Well, very well, thank you.
I was going to go to Mitchelton tonight, but apparently someone didn't pay the electricity bill.
Yes, it's sort of lights went out or something.
No,
the whole place, because I couldn't even do any training or anything. So it must have been the whole place. Oh. So just saying we didn't have Dan on, he could have told us what was going on. He could have been coming to us with torchlight under his chin.
I just spoke to him, and I just spoke to him earlier, and he said that apparently they were doing some work on the lights.
Yeah.
And the council didn't work fast enough, obviously, to get them repaired.
Oh, dear.
The poor blokes from the Gold Coast already here, ready to play.
Oh, I bet they were. I mean, that's not a... I mean, getting to Mitchelton from anywhere in Brisbane is a pain in the arse in itself, but trying to get there from the Gold Coast is just, you know, it's one of those. The game will be
on next Thursday.
Kind of stuck away in the corner, up in that top left-hand corner of Brisbane, isn't it? That field, you know. So, yeah. Anyway,
our sympathies to the players from Surfers Paradise.
Oh,
Apollo.
Absolutely.
Terrible.
That's a long way to go. Oh, anyway.
All right, let's start our show with the NPL. Guys, how many weeks in are we now? We're now 5 weeks into the league. Peninsula Power on top of the table. I guess the big story at the moment, Tony, Olympic. They've lost 2 games.
I watched their game against Power, and I watched their game against East.
Yep.
There has to be a time when we've got to stop saying we're playing the best football in Brisbane. Because the game against Power was the most boring 90 minutes of football I've seen in 2 years. And on Friday night, they got beat by a bunch of school kids.
Right.
So what's going on? They're playing pretty football, not effective football.
They're playing pretty football, and I'm just watching Adelaide play here with 90% possession against MacArthur Rams. And do nothing with it. So what's the point?
Yeah. So was it a case of there just being lots of possession by one team with Olympic and Power, or what was
the Power game? Was I think Power undermanned, went in to at least get a point.
Okay.
They had half a chance to put it away.
Yeah.
I don't think Brendan White had to dive once during that game.
Okay.
And then last week, they were out enthused. They were just gone.
Yeah, right.
East were a lot more hungrier than them. So.
Was that East game? Was that at East or was that at
East? At East on Friday night.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Oh wow. So you reckon there was just no ticket there, mate? You reckon they just
no?
They reckon they do it easy, or they just or East wanted it more, or
East were hungrier.
Yeah. Okay.
They were a bunch of school kids. I'm telling you, a bunch of very young side East.
Did they underestimate them?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't underestimate forever in this comp.
No, that's right. I mean, that is the beauty of our game, isn't it? You know, I mean, whether it's Premier League or it's you know down to Brisbane League or whatever. You know, if one team wants it more,
the East were a lot. You got to give credit to them. They were hungrier. They wanted it a lot more than Olympic, and they got.
Yeah. Okay.
They're only win of the season too, which puts them in 11th place. Now, looking at the teams below them, Magpies Crusaders, Redlands United, and Brisbane Strikers. 2
Strikers,
goals
yeah.
for, 13 goals against.
Look, shout out to Cameron and to Declan, who I follow on Twitter and who often comment a lot on strikers. Yeah, they're not very happy. They're certainly questioning the board's decision about where the club's direction's going in regards to juniors, etc. You know, they're a prestige team, aren't they, Brisbane Strikers, in our competition, and to see them performing the way they are, I think it'd be disappointing them. It's disappointing their fans, and I don't know where they go from here. I mean, they've got the name to make the signings, but clearly is there a budget issue there? Maybe.
Very definitely.
You know, they sit 14th behind Redlands and Magpies, Crusaders. I mean, you think about their FFA Cup run a few seasons ago, and you just think, you know, was this ever going to happen? How does this happen? You know, so yeah, look, who do they play? They play Redlands this weekend. So look,
that's a 6-point clash. 6-point game.
Bottom table clash, and look, I think Strikers will probably get a result out of this. I think they have to. I don't think they have a choice. Redlands as well. You know, they're kind of battling on there, but you know, but Strikers especially, mate. I mean, they're too good for this. The club's too good to be where they are.
I don't think they are too good because they've dug themselves in a hole.
Well, they're too big a club in the Brisbane football scene to be 14th on the NPL. That's
said that about Brisbane City last season, though, didn't we?
We did, yeah, we did. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway.
We'll give you the last word on that, Tony.
I said at the beginning of the season, the Strikers would be lucky to get 3 points.
Yeah.
There you go.
They have nothing. They show nothing. Have a look at the 3 games. They've copped 13 goals.
Yeah. I have to admit, yeah, and 11, they've taken 4. They've only scored
2
twice. Yeah, they've scored twice and 13 against. They've made some pretty uninspiring signings as well. Like, we can go around in circles, but you know, let's just get on with the rest of the league, I suppose. But
who did they sign? They've signed players that no other club wanted.
Yeah, I mean, they pinched a couple from Mitchelton.
Yeah,
where they were probably well placed to be where they were. I didn't think they performed that badly for Mitchelton. You know,
yeah.
and now where's Mitchelton on the FQPL ladder? You know, that's just.
Oh, geez, West Peninsula now, who'd be screaming now, who'd be looking for you, Liam.
Let's
look, you know, I mean, he'd be the first to admit it, you know.
Yeah.
What else? Let's run through the other matches this weekend. We've got Logan Lightning hosting Gold Coast Knights, Moreton Bay up against East. Moreton Bay in their usual 5th place already.
Yep. I think that'll be a draw with Easts.
Guarantee they'll maintain that. Gold Coast United up against Lions. That should be interesting. Magpies Crusaders up against Peninsula Power. Olympic up against Wanderers, and Brisbane Roar hosting Capalaba. Tony, what sticks out to you there?
The Moreton Bay game will be interesting, but what Moreton Bay team's going to turn up?
Yeah.
They're the most hot and cold team in the last 2 years.
They're so inconsistent, aren't they, Moreton Bay?
Yeah. I watched them play Olympic a few weeks ago. The first 4 minutes, that could have been 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And then Olympic went down the other end and scored, and that was good night. They threw the towel in, and that was it. And it was 4-1.
Well, look, I got the Roar and Capalaba game as being match of the round for NPL, purely because of where they sit on the ladders. You've got young Alex Parsons there, who's a golden boot. I think he's clear on 8. I think, yeah. So he's banging in well. So yeah, I've picked Raw for that one to win that one.
Tony, the Olympic game up against Sunshine Coast Wanderers. If the Wanderers get the 3 points in that game, is Ben Khan in trouble?
Oh, a lot of people at Olympic are saying that he's brought a lot of professionalism at the club. You can bring all the professionalism you want at a club, but the trophy cabinet is bare and you spend plenty. So they'll be rattling the cage, I'd say.
I mean, we said that at the start of the year, didn't we? Like Olympic have to win this season. Like
Yes.
it's like they've come so close so many times the last few seasons, and they've just got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
You know.
3 years in a row.
Oh, absolutely. Big pressure on Ben, I reckon.
And look at the places brought in: Zach Anderson, Cernak, couple of.
I mean,
What else do you want?
That's
You're in a 14 comp, and you can't beat East. You got problems. And it is a 14 comp.
You're right, Tone. Absolutely. What else do we have?
I won't be allowed into Brooklyn Park on Sunday.
And just finally, Tony, I just want to run this by you. Just having a look at the Lions squad before. I'm not sure that they are the force that they were in previous seasons. There's a lot of young blood coming through, and we'll see if these guys can make names for themselves. And, you know, here's hoping that they do. But the squad just looks one or two quality players short this year. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but I would say that if something happens with the raw youth halfway through the year, Mr. Kim and a couple of the others might drop straight back in there. And what happens then?
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Come the end of the Raw season, you never know. There might be a couple of players that'll be coming back to the
straight to Richlands we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting second half of the season, anyway. You know.
That's right.
Because I want to keep them fit and keep them active, ready for the start of the next
following season. Yeah.
Very true.
That's going to be juicy.
And for this week at least, Gold Coast Knights, we'll keep them under the radar. We might talk about them next week. All right, let's move on to the FQPL 1.
Yep.
And looking at results, the big thing that sticks out looking at that ladder, Wynnum Wolves, my tip for the season, Neil Dupois.
Did you really? Did you? I didn't know that.
I did. I thought if anyone's going to beat Brisbane City, it's going to be Wolves. And 3 rounds in, no points.
Yeah, it's what a fall from grace for Wolves. You know, I mean, halfway through last season when we had that COVID break, you know, they just came. Didn't they just fire into the rest of that season? And yeah, I don't know. Did they? Where did they lose players to? They lost a number of players to the NPL, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They lost a couple, but they also replaced 0 goals scored so far.
Well, what's the for? Yeah, 0. Yeah, right. 0, 4, and 11 against. I mean,
need work on both ends. Can't score and can't defend. Big problem there.
I watched, obviously, clearly I watched Western Pride's game against them, Pride's first game for the season, of all things. You know, they defeated them 1-0, but Wynnum did have their chances. Wynnum got into the box quite a few times in that second half, and they just lost a bit of quality in that final third there. But they didn't really trouble Jake very much in that first half. So, yeah, I don't know where they go. I don't think they'll have many wins, but I don't think they'll be put on the ladder by the end of the season.
What about Mitchelton?
Well, it's a bit hard when we've got Dan amongst us all here, so you try to be polite, don't you?
He's got a thick skin. He can handle anything, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah. No. Look, he wouldn't be happy. Look, I think I read somewhere or online somewhere that he was happy with he was reasonably happy with the last match they had. He saw a lot of improvement there in that. So I think that they're definitely a work in progress. I think they've got the capability there to come on strong towards the back half of the season, which is where you're going to need it. Yeah, they'd be shocked to be down on third place. Third from the bottom. But yeah, work in progress, I believe, and that's pretty much what I think Dan was saying earlier this week.
Brisbane City, 4 from 4, top of the league on 12 points. Rochdale Rovers look to be getting Mojo back, second place on 10.
Yep.
And the match that we were talking about before we went to air, Liam, was the Southwest Queensland Thunder. They lost their match 1-0 up against Brisbane City. So it shows that the Thunder, they've got their quality again this year.
Yeah.
Maybe they could just fall short again.
Look, I tipped Thunder to take out the season. I still want to stand by that. But yeah, watching Brisbane City play, mate, geez, they just seem a class above everyone else. It's as simple as that. I mean, Utah, that he's equal Golden Boot again. With Greg, I think from Rochdale Rovers. So they got the Golden Boot guy in there as well. But they just looked in the midfield and defence, like they were so, like the game they played against was it South they played just last weekend. In defence, mate, like no one's getting through them. No one's getting through them at all. And I think when you have a look at their 4-1 against already, they got 12-4-1 against. I mean, and that was only against Thunder who were Thunder. So yeah, Knights. They play Knights, I think, this weekend. City versus Knights.
They do.
Yeah. So, look, Knights have had a pretty good start to the season as well. They've had an okay start. They won their FFA Cup game against against Mogul. Sorry, against Mogul just recently. So they're coming in with a bit of form, with a bit of game time underneath them. How heavy their legs will be, I don't know. But I still think that City will get up, but I don't think they're going to have as easy a game as they did against South.
Knights looked full of running in the game that I saw, which was up against Mitchelton. But looking at the other matches this weekend is Holland Park up against South United. Yeah. Rochdale Rovers up against the Thunder. That could be a crucial game. Sunny Coast Fire up against Wolves. Western Pride hosting Mitchelton, and Southside Eagles have the bye. What do you like there, Tony?
Tough one for Mitchelton away.
Well, look, you've got to remember too, this is the only Pride's second game, so their second game of the league. So they're still finding their feet. So I think if Mitchie are going to get any points, and this, it's hard for me to say being Pride man and all, but I think if Mitchie are going to get anything out of this early on in the season and try and finally get some wins and some points under them, I think this is the game for them. I think you'd want to try and take advantage of a reasonably underdone Pride, So I reckon they'll fancy themselves. I think. I'll let you know because I'll be going to that game.
Mm-hmm. I reckon Holland Park will win. I reckon Holland Park will win that game.
Hey, and I think Holland Park, I think Hawks are probably I reckon they're a little bit of a surprise packet this season. What do you guys think?
I think South will win that one.
Do you really?
Yep.
Okay, let's have a look. We'll talk next week.
All right, let's move on to the FQPL 2. The big surprise.
This won't take long. There's only 28 teams.
The big surprise so far, North Star, 2 from 2.
Yeah, they played Virginia.
I have.
No disrespect to Virginia, but myself, Liam, and Darren could get a team together and beat them. And we'll get Declan Rooney as well.
All right.
They got beat 7-1, didn't they?
They did, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How they in the comp?
Well, we're only, was it 3 rounds in?
Yeah. How?
That is showing Caboolture are the only team that have, there we go, Sanford have played as well, so played 3 games each. So Caboolture on top undefeated, Taringa Rovers undefeated, but have only played 2, North Star undefeated, Grange Thistle, win and a loss, Sanford, Coomera, Magic United, who are winless after 2, and then Virginia. Coomera Colts have lost both as well.
Maybe Virginia should merge with the Strikers and get half a team.
Match of the round for that one for me is Taringa North Star on Saturday at 5 o'clock, I think. So I think that'll be good that'd be a good little game. I've picked all the home teams to win this weekend in the FQPL and the FQPL 2. Yeah, Caboolture just running away with it. Caboolture won't lose a game. I mean,
that was always going to be the case.
Which is it 16 rounds, 8 rounds, whatever. But yeah, it's no, they won't lose a game.
Yeah,
Grange Thistle against Sanford would be interesting, and also Coomera Colts against Magic. Both teams getting their first chance to get some points on the board, so they'll be fired up for that.
Would we call that one a local derby, like we always call derbies, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we could. Oh, I think in that competition, definitely.
Chuck that in. Why not?
Well, by far the nearest two teams, and you can also go Thistle Sanford. You can make a case for that.
It was good to see Terry Kirkman walk away down there at on the Gold Coast his last trip to Gold Coast Knights there, he got a red card as a coach, and that was his last game for Pride. So I said to him, it's good to see you walk away this time, mate, without being sent off.
All right.
interesting.
Anyway.
So that's our look at the leagues. Let's have a chat about the other things that are going on. Tony, I know you're a man full of opinions. What's on your mind at the moment?
I don't know. The games that I've seen, there's no atmosphere at any of the grounds. I don't know. Maybe people are sitting at home watching live streams. Crowds aren't there.
Well, not Knights. My understanding is Knights and Moggle had a pretty good crowd there at Bundamba there during the week. But then again, I don't think that one was streamed. So I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I don't know whether people are just turned away altogether. There's too many. There's not enough decent quality. There's not enough quality games. Too many teams.
No, especially when you see the NPL down in Victoria. I mean, I know that they've got some real ethnic mad clubs down there. So they've pulled some good crowds down there for NPL. But up here, I don't know. It's I think every club wants more people at their games. I don't know how they go about doing it. You don't get any love from any of the media or anything. No one knows the games are on unless you're a rusted on football supporter in South East Queensland. You don't know that these games are on.
We'll see what happens this weekend now that the COVID restrictions have been lifted. See if that has an impact.
Better weather too. Like it's starting to cool off as well. So I know, especially in the western suburbs there at the start of the season, you can get a bit hot in those sea breeze around. So, but hopefully things cool off, people come back.
Anything else going on in that beautiful mind of yours, Tony?
Not really, mate. No, I've been keeping a low profile so I don't get into any strife. But, I just go to a few games, mind my own business, sit in the corner, have my beer and souvlaki and just walk away.
There'll be a number of catch-up games too coming up probably over the next few weeks too. I think there'll be a number of midweek games coming up. So I think come the middle of the season, there's going to be some tired legs. I think clubs will be going in, testing their depth by the middle of the season, trying to get some of these games caught up.
But why were games called off last weekend?
Again,
on Wednesday, it didn't rain. The court games off on Friday. It didn't rain for the next 48 hours.
I know, just from personal experience, I know that the Sutton Park ground, that's probably really the only ground really that council does a crap job in trying to keep dry. There's always pockets and always dips and hollows in that ground that just holds water and if there's no water on the surface, it's muddy as heck. It just doesn't dry out and drain properly. So that's only one club, but yeah, Sutton Park's terrible for drainage. I think that was the first game called off for the EPL.
Yeah, the cup game's off on Friday. We never got a drop of rain. So we haven't had any.
Yeah, again, Tony, it's because they're all council owned, mate. It's if the council doesn't want them to play in it, the clubs don't have much of a say. which is unfortunate, which comes back to football in general in Australia, is that a lot of the clubs don't own their grounds.
Yep.
So the likes. I mean, I think the NPLW game. The A League. Sorry, the W League game went ahead of Lions, didn't it? But
Yes.
They own their grounds, so they can probably say no other games but W League.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're in for an interesting year.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Football
Yes.
Queensland if things didn't go smoothly.
Yeah.
But, certainly by the middle of the year, I'll be looking at clubs.
Folding.
What was that?
How does a club like Virginia keep going if they get flogged 7-0 every week?
I don't know. How the NPLW team's not doing very well either, is it?
No.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
So the juniors have got them into these competitions, obviously with the homework.
Yeah.
They put Northstar in and Virginia in. They should have just got them to sit together and get half a decent side together.
Yeah, it seemed but the whole process was weird last year. Remember, because they announced these clubs, and there was a lot of people that were going, "Huh? How did they get in? How did this team get in? How did that get in?" I mean, there's a lot of allegiances there, of course, but
how? They've got no facilities. Have you driven past there? Have you been to Virginia?
No, I haven't.
I drive past and I miss it.
Really?
Yeah. What have they got there? Darren, have you been there the last 5 years?
No, the only time that I've been to Virginia was for St. George's first ever match in the competition. That was in the FFA Cup against Virginia. It's the only time that I've been there.
There you go.
But I do know that they have plans for clubhouses. They just need all their planning permissions in order, get their ducks in a row, and they'll be building something.
But by then they could get relegated.
That may very well be the case. May very well be the case. They do have a playoff game though, and you certainly know that Albany Creek aren't going to be a team that's going to entertain the Football Queensland competition. So it could be against the Lakes. It could be against Bayside United. It could be against one of those teams that maybe they've got a chance of winning and maintaining their place.
I don't know. Maybe did they think perhaps that by going into FQPL2 that they would be seen as a club that people would want to play for? They're in the FQPL. They're fighting to get in to go up. So were they putting the feelers out to get player quality in, and maybe they didn't get the quality that they wanted? Maybe.
Well, if you're a decent kid in that area, there's Brisbane City, there's the Strikers, there's everyone else. If you're going to play NPL,
the season is young. There's plenty of time to go yet.
Yeah.
So I've got four and 5 rounds. So long way to go yet. But
yeah,
that's
good to be back anyway. Now that we've all dried out, have a chat in football again.
For sure. Liam, we'll let you go to work. We'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Great to be back. And over the next few weeks, we'll bring on the women's show, the Southwest Queensland show, the Sunshine Coast show, and what's the other one that we've forgotten? The Gold Coast show. Should have had a Gold Coast show this week. Anyway, they'll be back.
I just had a small collect here. In fact, I have this multi on this game that was just A game. Both teams to score, Matt Derbyshire to score, and Adelaide to win. Thank you.
So you cashed up this week, are you, mate?
No, I might have to go all up Olympic and blow it.
Just offer them some more money to buy in some other players, mate.
You came in at 10-1.
Really?
Cash out now and get a free Souvlaki this weekend.
I've got it, mate. The game's over.
Oh, he's got it. Jesus. Yeah. I'll be buying Olympic, mate.
Well, yeah, I'll show you some Souvlaki on Sunday.
Give it to Virginia so they can buy some players.
Any more than that.
All right, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week.
No
Bye.
problem. See you.